For part 2 of this video, we're going to finish talking about the syllabus and what the expectation for the course is. I am learning all kinds of things about video and learning that closed captioning is spotty and sometimes rather funny. So please know that the closed captions are required in order to post something to an educational website, that they are automatically generated and they are not always exact replicas of what has been said and definitely not grammatically correct. So with that disclaimer, don't blame me, right? We'll go forward with a discussion of our syllabus, and that is deadlines. Okay, so here are a couple things I want to say about deadlines. In a regular semester, in a regular time, there would be, short of some major excuse, there would be zero reason why a deadline wouldn't be met. I hope we can hold to that this semester. But we're not in a regular time. People may get sick. Who knows what else 2020 is going to throw at us? I'm assuming you've seen the Facebook meme that has Ernie from Sesame Street on it, and it says 2020 brought to you by the letters W, T, and F. That's kind of how I feel about it. So what I want to do is start with the expectation that deadlines will be met, that there's not going to be an excuse for not meeting them, and that failure to do so means a loss of those week's points. All right, so that's the policy. I also know that this is a time of grace and anything could happen, and we will work and adapt as it does. So while this is not licensed to be late with your work or to fail to do the work, it is a statement that acknowledges things are not normal and we will have to accommodate as necessary. Having said that, if everything is working as it should, assignments are due by the posted date and they need to be firm. For one, going back and grading something from 4 weeks before means you're really behind, and getting a polished story put together for your portfolio is not going to be very easily done, right? So this is for your benefit to stay on task and to use the points being earned as incentive to make sure that you do it on time, right? So you can read the section there on deadlines and late work policy and know that I intend to follow those unless we have more surprises brought to you by the letters W, T, and F, and in those cases we'll adapt. There's also an incomplete policy that the college has. If something happens and you get sick, or someone very close to you gets sick and you have completed, I think it's 80% of the course, and you're unable to finish the other part of it, then we can have a discussion and work out how you finish up the coursework. So while it's my job on the first day to be strict about deadlines and late work policies and expectations, and I'm doing all of that, I also want you to know that if you have issues, be in touch with me. Make sure I know and we work something out in advance. Don't wait until week 16 and go, oh yeah, by the way, I was gone those 4 weeks because X, Y, and Z. It's too late then. But at this part of the course in advance, when something happens, we can figure out a way to deal with it. That's the world we're living in right now. I talked a little bit in the last video about assignment details and how we were going to do that. I'm not going to read all of these assignment details to you. You can read them and see them. What I do want to do is talk just for a couple of minutes about how I expect you to revise and work on the rough drafts that you submit. So each week we're going to be working off a variation of one of the prompts in the book and submitting that as your short writing assignment. And I'm asking you to format those manuscripts in a publishable form so you get in a habit of doing that. And I will have a link up where you can submit your work, your assignments to me, and I will grade it and we will communicate about it in that way. And I have posted links here to how you format those manuscripts. So if you've got any questions about that, you can give me an email and I can answer any questions that you have about it. So that initial draft working into something that should help you develop that major project for this semester is the goal of each week. I don't expect those drafts, those first drafts to be polished. I expect you to have to meet the criteria of the assignment and to be working towards something. Then, on your own, when you get some feedback from that, you'll start revising and working into more detail, more um, plot development, more theme as we work through the unit. And so, as you're revising that, you're going to get to a place where then you're ready to have your classmates look at your story and give you some meaningful feedback on what's working in this piece, what's really good about it, or what questions do I have, right? How I don't understand this part. So, how would you revise that so that your reader is following what it is you're trying to do? Those are all really valuable uh, tools. They help make for a polished story. So once you have the critique done and you have your classmates' feedback and you have feedback from me, then it's time for us to set up a conference to talk about your work and about how you're going to revise that into a full-length short story. I've been referring to this all along as fiction because traditionally in our first creative writing class, we do fiction and we do poetry. Creative nonfiction is more like memoir, and it is true. It is a true story, but it is shaped like fiction. It uses all the elements of fiction in order to tell a story. So if you want to do creative nonfiction as opposed to making something up out of whole cloth, you're welcome to do that, and we can talk about it. But for the sake of verbiage and clarification and lessons, I'm going to refer to the prose section of our course as fiction. But please know that if you have a true story you want to tell, that you're more than welcome to do that. Creative nonfiction is close to my heart, not as close as poetry, but it's pretty close. So I encourage you to work with the experiences that you have in your life, the things that you believe you know, that you want to investigate, and let the writing process take you wherever it takes you. Right? So the big thing is your participation. You can't learn to write. You can't be a good workshop member if you aren't participating. And so that's the key thing is your effort, you're meeting the requirements, and you're participating fully in the experience leads to a good experience for everybody who's involved. And that's the kind of learning environment I want to create, right? Part of that is dealing with respect for each other and respect for the work. And one thing that I really feel strongly about is respect for everyone. It is okay to ask questions about somebody's work. It is okay to say, I didn't understand that part. It's okay to have a discussion. It is not okay to say rude, unkind, or disrespectful things about anybody or anybody's work. Before we start critiques, we'll have a conversation again about what that involves and how we do it. I will ask you to help me set the rules for what a critique will involve and what kinds of discussions we can have. And we'll come up with our own workshop guidelines. Um, but just out of the box, respect for each other is key and fundamental to a good experience. And that's really the one thing where I'm unyielding. I've been teaching for a very long time, and I learned my first year or two not to let anybody get away with disrespect. It changes the course atmosphere, and sometimes you just never get a good experience back. So we're going to set a tone. It's going to be a great tone. We're going to have a great, good time. We're going to learn a lot. We're going to read some fun things, some interesting things, and work really hard at developing a voice that will lead us into our best selves. So I'm here to help you. I'm excited about being here. I am I just can't even tell you how delighted I am to be teaching this class. I'm open to you. I know that online has some limitations, but I have Zoom, I have email, I have all kinds of tools available, and I'm willing to use them, right? So I will be posting information, and please, at any time, if there's something that is not clear, I want you to contact me and say, could you explain this better? You won't hurt my feelings. In my head, I am always 100% clear. I think I know I've said it and I've said it well. And my workshop classes tell me over and over and over again by their questions that maybe in fact I didn't. So if that is the case at any point, please email me and we will talk. I am happy to meet you on Zoom. I'm happy to have a phone call with you. Whatever is going to work best for you, we will make work. All right. So with that said, I'm going to let you finish reading the syllabus and then move on to week one to pick up the first set of assignments to be done by the end of the week, right? It's already up and running. So thank you for being part of this class. Thank you for sharing the experience with me. I look forward to a really good time for all of us.